Easter, it is this weekend, and instead of a golden egg, how about some cold hard cash? There's millions in unclaimed cash in our state. To help you figure out how to get yours, we have Dale Folwell, the North Carolina State Treasurer, here with us today. He's taking your questions, and here's how you get your questions to him. You text us those questions. The number is 336-379-5775. All right, so there's unclaimed cash out there. How much?
There's nearly $1 billion, and even though we're smashing all records as far as getting money into the NC Cash, we're also smashing records in getting money sent out. We're going to send out over $100 million this fiscal year to viewers like yours.
All right, and I know that you, like for St. Patrick's Day, you did some viewers that had all kinds of fun last names. This time around, you guys did the same thing?
We sure did. You know, we did St. Patrick's Day a few weeks ago, and I was joining you from a warehouse of an ABC store. How ironic to be there on St. Patrick's Day. And the warehouse manager had money at NC Cash, but now we're focused on the Easter theme and just, you know, all the different names that you can think of around Easter and bunny and eggs. You'd be shocked at just putting those names in NC Cash as to what you can find in terms of things that are there that belong to other folks.
All right, I think we just had that up there. We used Peter, Cotton, and Tail, which I think is super funny. 740 people just here in the triad alone with the last name Peter, 65 with the name Cotton, and 1 with the name Tail. And of course, that's just the beginning of how many people have unclaimed cash here in the triad. So often people will say, okay, how do I get that unclaimed cash?
This is very easy. Number one, to remember that every state has one. So any of your viewers who have lived in another state, they can go to other states and check that. Number two, your chances are better than playing the lottery. We have 18 million records and only 10 million citizens. Number three, there's no charge to go to nccash.com and to check your name, business name, church, nonprofit, and there's no charge to claim your cash, and that's how you do it.
All right, and so it's nccash.com, so it is the state treasurer's website. That is where you claim it. So very often, and this is what it looks like. We want to make sure that you know what it looks like, because so often people will Google unclaimed cash and they're going to get to a third party instead of to this website. And there are businesses out there who will help you search for your cash. But of course, that means they're then going to charge you, and this should be a free thing.
Absolutely. We have heard of some businesses trying to charge people 15 or 20% commission to get money back to them that we don't charge anything for.
Right. Okay, so we want to make sure that you know that you can get it for absolutely free. You can search your name for free. You can get your money for free. We do have a text question for you. This person says, if unclaimed money is listed for my deceased parents, how do we make a claim?
That's a fantastic question, and one that we get often. And it goes to another question, Tanya, is how long does this money sit here? It sits here forever. So when you see the name of a deceased parent, by the way, sorry for your loss, the first thing to do is to hit claim and to figure out how much it is. We don't make the laws regarding the estates of North Carolina. That the clerk of courts do that. But you'd first want to determine if it's worth opening up an estate if that estate's been closed. We were just able to find $200,000 for a lady who is the beneficiary of a life insurance policy. Obviously, if you're talking about that amount of money, it's highly worth opening up an estate. But if there's only $56 sitting at nccash.com and it may cost you $75 to reopen the estate, that would not be money well spent.
All right, so we do want to go over that one more time, because we do have several other text questions that comes to, do you have to open an estate if your spouse has money owed to them and they've passed away? You do have to open up the estate. And again, what he said is make sure it's worth your while to open up that estate. And you can check that before you have to open up anything. You can see how much is owed.
Absolutely. And you know, depending on when that person died and how that came to us, for example, if it was joint tenant with right of survivorship, there's a very high likelihood that you will not have to open an estate. So be sure to check and how the entry's in there. That is highly important, and that's why I'm not trying to give legal advice, but that's why I encourage people, whether it's car titles or things of this nature, setting these accounts up joint tenant with right of survivorship, would mean it'd be easier for people to get a hold of their NC cash.
All right, great. We're going to take a quick break. We'll continue with your text questions when we come back.